Welcome back to The Prepared Mind. I'm John. I'm your host. Thank you for tuning in, for sponsoring us, for sharing information, for thinking about shit hitting the fan. Because it's gonna. It's gonna hit the fan, and I hope you're ready. So, in addition to, food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, today I've got a product review for you, but only after I cover a little bit of interesting news. So, let's get to it. All right, so the news for the day. What is important to me? The interesting shit-it's-the-fan news for me was President Donald J. Trump and his address at the United Nations. As per usual, it doesn't matter what he said. He could have said that he likes the flavor of Cocoa Puffs, and everything he says would be looked at through a partisan lens. Now, I listened to his speech, and I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was interesting. Now, he used humor and drew laughter from the UN audience. I thought he did so in an intelligent way, right? In a fun way, because that's how you get laughter. But the left saw it as they were laughing at him. They were impugning him. I listened to the things he was saying. Now, it's quite fascinating. The Democrats on TV, from that guy named after a citrusy fruit, Mr. Lemon, and others, in fact, all others on the left, they said that it smacked of nationalism. Nigel Farage, a traditional conservative guy from England, Mr. Brexit himself, was really pleased with it. Right, so just taking those two examples, you can tell, right, that no matter what Trump said, he could have said FDR was the best thing since sliced bread. He could have said LBJ's Great Society was a hell of an idea. He could have said Clinton getting a Lewinsky in the Oval Office was the right thing to do for national security, and the left still would have gone after him. Right? There's nothing he can say that's going to get applause from the left. So, I'm not even going to bother thinking about them. What did the right think? What did I think? What did people who like freedom think? My first impression was this sounds more like Trump from the campaign trail, but more presidential. He's had practice being presidential and having presidential speeches written for him. Right? And yeah, presidents have speeches written for them, and they work on them with the speechwriter and say, these are the things I want to say, lay it out so it sounds better, yada, yada, yada. Then they approve it, and it's a huge thing. And every piece of paper is taken and put in the presidential library. So, that said, right, that caveat said, Trump wasn't up there winging it. He was reading his belief system put into speech format. He talked about the sovereignty of the United States of America and how it will not be subjected to some radical migration or immigration policy accepted by the rest of the world. He's like, I'm not going to submit the nation to that. He sounded strong. He sounded intelligent. He put it out there. He sounded presidential. I appreciated it and thought it was terrific. Absolutely terrific. What did the left think? They hated it. This is what's going to happen to our nation. This is why shit is going to hit the fan. You know, I had to put up with 8 fucking years of Obama saying something and lifting his nose up, right? Communist style, right? Like everyone has to look up at him because he's so tall and big, right? Such a big person and persona. Well, you know, we had to put up with that and go, okay, you know, that sounded nice and let's hope that works. And gee whiz, Barry Soetoro, Barack Hussein Obama, I sure hope you can do a good job. We had to put up with that, right? But when Trump speaks, they go after him. It is so transparent. The only thing transparent in the media is their hatred of anything that isn't right down their line. Now, what gets me is they are socialists, progressives, communists, they don't believe in nationalism. Now, it's kind of one of those funny things, right? The communists, they demand everyone be like them. So they're not just for communism, they're for world communism. And the only other thing world out there is globalism. And by globalism, I mean this concept that there's a one world government. That's what the globalists want. And since Democrats are all for it, then they don't just want globalism, they want world globalism, world socialism. And Trump is talking about nationalist policies. Now, what's fascinating also is the EU, Russia, and China are moving away from the US dollar. The common parlance for that is de-dollarization, which is kind of just a made-up fucking word, but it speaks directly to what's going on, and we know what they're saying. De-dollarization is they're no longer buying U.S. treasuries, U.S. bonds, U.S. notes, dollars. They don't want to use our currency. They want to trade with their currency with other countries. So Russia trades its rubles with China, who trades its yuan with whatever the Iranians trade with everybody else. Now that to me is not a globalist monetary policy. Right? That to me is a nationalist policy where your currency has value and you trade it back and forth. So Russia and China do not appear to be in this globalist scheme. Right? And Germany wants to do business with Russia. And a lot of countries are now making side deals. Like France, I believe, has made a side deal with Russia. They're all trying to make deals with other countries that have assets that they need. Right? So we're going to come to a pinch. I'm using the word pinch. It's going to be a point in time where the idea of globalism and the idea of nationalism are going to meet and then cross, and we're going to continue to go one way or the other. Right? Or maybe we're at that meeting point where globalism has had its way, but here's nationalism. Which one is going to win? Right? And why does that matter when shit hits the fan? Well, it's going to matter because we're moving from one system, which was this globalist, right, hegemony, and now we're going towards nationalism, right? So one of them has to lose. We can't do both. There is no blend between socialism and free markets. Socialism is just a lazy communist, or a communist is a socialist in a big hurry. Right? But, there's an element of fascism that has not escaped all of the communism out there. Right? The Chinese, Chi-communists, if you want to call them that and spell it out. They have adopted business principles in their government and economic model. That is fascism. Right? But their government has backed off and said, okay, business, do what you want as long as we get our money. That's fascism. Right? That is a fascist principle. They need businesses to make money for them, and then they control the people. The people really are the third players in the system. Right? They're no longer the sovereign. So, we can't have both. You can't have totalitarian style or totalitarian flavored socialism, global socialism, and nationalism and freedom at the same time. We're going to end up with shit hitting the fan because one system has to change to the other. The globalists fucked it all up with all of their debt, all of their quantitative easing, all of their big government spending, all of their entitlement programs for the people. That system is failing absolutely. And Trump is moving us and getting everything ready, it's my opinion, for everything else. When he first was elected and he started with his discussions as the president, and months later he started talking about how he saved the economy and how everything's great. And I thought, why are you taking responsibility for an economy that during the election process, during the campaign, you said was a big fat bubble? Big fat bubble. Well, it's because I believe he took control through the Treasury, through the Federal Reserve, he took control of the Exchange Stabilization Fund, which is a giant, massive slush fund that the government uses to pump into the markets, to pump into the bond market, to pump overseas, to make sure everything is stabilized, to make sure there's enough liquidity in the system so we don't have an absolute crushing crash. The problem with that is they pumped all that money in there, and now we've got inflation squirting out our ears. Right, there's a lot of discussion about inflation. Today, the FOMC had their meeting, they released their notes, whatever. They're raising the Fed rate another quarter point. And they make it sound important by calling it 25 basis points. Fuck it, it's another quarter point percentage. Just speak English, folks. Jesus, why can't they just speak to us like we're adults? They're always changing terms. Instead of we're cutting entitlements, they call it austerity. Instead of saying we're raising it a quarter point, they go, it's 25 basis points. Make it sound really important, I guess. Well, it's a big fucking deal. So they're hawkish, meaning they're aggressive, or they're dovish, meaning they're standoffish. I don't give a shit. They raised the points, right? And we could get another one. Already, right, it's looking bad. They've got so much money out there. The inflation is showing up. The other day, here's an example, personal example. Went to the store and I bought ingredients because I wanted to make a nice family-sized enchilada. Chicken breasts, enchilada sauce, lots of peppers, lots of cheese. Right? It was how much chicken was it? Pound and a half of chicken. Pound and a half of chicken breasts. Right? Lots of olives. I mean, it was a fancy-ass enchilada. I did a hell of a good job on it. It was freaking tasty. Right? And it went into an 8 by 16 pan. That enchilada, those ingredients cost me $32. $32 for a homemade enchilada. Now, my son and I ate that in 2 nights because we're big guys. Anyways, we didn't eat the whole thing in one night, so $16 a night. That's $8 a person for homemade food. Right? That's not restaurant food. I could probably go to a Mexican restaurant and get, it wouldn't be that good, but it would be food. It wouldn't be that much, but it would be food that would cost about the same. You know, food is expensive. You know, and this is enchilada sauce. Enchilada sauce and peppers and a little bit of meat and some tortillas and some cheese and some olives. That's it. That's it. Man, there is inflation out there. I feel it. Filled up my car today. Felt it. Man, $3.69 for gasoline in my town. That's premium. It's coming, folks. They've taken so many things out of the inflation index that it just doesn't make any sense. And they're keeping a lot of things that are important and popular, high-tech items. And of course, high-tech items are cheaper today because why? Well, they're being made in China. But guess what? That's going to change because of the tariffs. It has to change because of the tariffs. I'm already seeing in the industry I'm in, I saw on a bid, I sent a bid out for about $30,000 of work. And I got a bid back, right? And then it had a correction. After 90 days, we said, okay, let's do it. Pulled the trigger on the job. And what did they say? Oh, sorry, John, we've got to adjust that figure, right? That bid is up and the prices have gone up substantially. 3.5%. That's a big deal, right? It's not for raw material. It's for a finished product that has a percentage of raw material in it. So that cost was passed right along. You know, that's what we're looking at. So Trump is talking about nationalist perspectives and the fact that we're not going to sign on to what everyone else wants because it's not ideal for us. And I do like the way he's looking at it. Why should we, as America, do what everyone else wants? How does that serve us? And if they're not us, if they're different, how can things they like be good for us necessarily? Well, I'm going to say the same thing applies for shit hitting the fan. They have no right, no one does, to tell us that we're doing something wrong, that it's bad, that it's stupid. No, because what's right for me is certainly different, right? I'm an individual, and what I do is right for me. I see where we're going. I see that Trump is having to do all of these tariff policies to bring corporations home. He's spending the ESF money while he can to keep the market looking good till we get past this stupid election. We're going to have economic problems in 2019. It's probably going to start. It's already started as far as I'm concerned, and it's going to continue to get worse through 2018. At some point between next month and the month 1 year following, right, since our major correction 6 months ago, we've got 6 months from that point up to 18 months before we have an absolute terrifying reset. You can call it a crash, you can call it a correction, right? There are people who make a living at dealing with Wall Street going, we are screwed. There's several of them. If you would like to hear some interviews by those people, Michael Pinto, who 2 years ago was talking about the end of 2018 and 2019, is still saying the same exact days and dates. Hasn't changed his mind a bit. And I thought 2 years ago he was too conservative. Now he sounds pretty radical. Anyways, check out Michael Pinto's work. He's been on the X22 Report Spotlight, and he's been on Greg Hunter, USA Watchdog, and on a couple other places. Anyways, enough on that. There's an economic component to shit hitting the fan that cannot be excused away. Just as there is a political component to it that cannot be excused away. And I've been talking about it, not only about the radical people on the street, but the radical politicians. And I've also talked about the radical bureaucrats, meaning law enforcement. There's sections of everything that's radicalized. We need to be totally aware of it. Now, to get down to the good gad, it's gear time. A little bit different of a gear time. I've sustained in my life at age 49 some injuries. I've got some stiffness. Every now and then I get problems in my neck or my back. I'm just like everyone else on the planet. Right? I'm Superman, but I'm not that Superman. Anyways, I had trouble, and I went to see a chiropractor and got some adjustment and everything else, but I'm still stiff, still hurt, right? Better, but still hurt. There's areas where the muscles hurt. And I've been watching, I watched the Still Report, Bill Still, and he's been talking about CBD oil, which is a cannabinoid. I can't even say the word. But what it is, it's an extract from hemp seeds. Not pot, not marijuana, but hemp seed extract. The cannabinoids. There we go. I said it. Anyways, he's talked about it. They have one that you take internally. There's lotions, there's creams, there's oils. And I'm not a big fan of the idea of being stoned. But they're THC, which is the active ingredient that stones you out of your mind. These are oils that are essential, or oils that come out of the cannabinoid, the hemp. And I thought, I'm going to give it a try, because a friend of mine said, you're not going to believe it. That shit works. And I said, I have to pass a drug test. I can't be stoned. I can't have that. And plus, I thought, do they really work? I have had too many examples of products that I've tried. May have worked a little bit or may have helped here and there. But I tried this product, and this is the review. Right? This is the one I bought. CBD Daily. Okay? There we go. Soothing Serum. And that's the little bottle of it. Right? And it's got a little pump on the top, put the oil. So, I took some, put it on the side of my neck down to my traps. This muscle up here that runs across the top of the shoulder. And in 5 minutes, I noticed significant relief of pain in the muscle, not skin pain, in the muscle. So in 10 minutes, I had better than 90% reduction in pain and stiffness in the muscle. Before I put it on, I could touch it, and it was tender. It hurt. And after putting it on, waiting 10 minutes, gone. Just about all gone. In fact, the pain was relieved so well that the left side actually feels like it hurts in comparison to the pain level on the other side. So I guess what that says is I'm in a lot of pain a lot of times, right? And maybe that's true, but it was very interesting. Very effective product. I'm going to recommend it 100%. It worked fast. It worked where I put it. I have no complaints. I don't feel sick or ill or stoned or anything crazy. I'm not drinking any alcohol because I don't want to confuse the two of them. Right? Was it the alcohol that made me feel good, or was it the CBD oil, the cannabinoid? So I don't know what product Bill sells, but it's one of these, and they're available everywhere. And I'm going to see if I can get Jolene to put it on the preparedmind.club. I am now sold after one usage. That's how effective this particular product is. That's how effective it is. I can't say anything bad about it. Right? Basically guaranteed you'd have to drink a gallon of it to fail a urinalysis test. So I have no worries about that, and really I don't want to lose my job, so I would not take a chance, right? Except it's been tested thoroughly. It does not have the stoner ingredient in it, but it does have effective remedies, pain relieving, muscle tension remedy in it. Very effective. So we'll see if we can't get this exact product. And for 0.67 of a fluid ounce, so basically 2/3 of a fluid ounce, I paid $25 at a boutique store. I don't know what we can get it for, if we can get it on Amazon, what we can sell it for, and get that transferred over to the preparedmind.club. We'll do our best, but if you can't get it from us, get it from somewhere. I'm going to have to get a supply of this shit for shit hitting the fan, because it's coming. Because it's coming. I don't want to have to take some heavy-duty narcotic that I have stored or saved up if I have a severe mechanical injury, right, or sore muscles or sore joints, right? I think I'm going to use this stuff. Very convinced by it. It's new to me. So hopefully you guys have your own stories of using it. I can't, and I've heard nothing negative from the most straight-laced people on the planet to people who are hipsters. They all say it works well. I just didn't believe that it worked as well as it does. So maybe this product, this brand name, is just actually really good. You know, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm going to buy more of this if I can get it. Get it through the preparedmind.club. So, anyways, shit is going to hit the fan. It's political. It's economic. It's partisan, and it works on all levels. Economics on all levels, politics on all levels. Right? There's going to be a fight between the nationalist move because the globalist move sucks. That's what Trump is fighting. He's fighting on so many fronts. It's amazing. I'm very impressed with the guy. But there is no convincing the people on the left. No matter how good things get, they will hate Trump. And as soon as things go bad, they're going to hate Trump. And I really do believe that we're going to have a false flag event between now and the election. The Democrats cannot have things going so well. Republicans and conservatives and libertarians, to the extent possible, excited about voting for him or voting for Republican Party candidates over Democrats. They can't afford to have something go smoothly, so they're going to have to throw a lot of shit at Trump. And like I said, the campaign they've had so far is called Fuck Trump, and it's not working. Right? In fact, it's so bad that there's hashtag walk away, which has been taken off of Twitter. Right? In fact, these organizations, these social media giants, have now prescribed to some new terms of service terminology. Right? If something is offensive or discriminates, and they don't even use the word discriminate, it just could make someone feel bad. There'll be more on this in the coming days. How there's going to be a new level of censorship, and they've done everything except call it George Orwell's Newspeak. They are taking words and thoughts and concepts away from us, ripping them away and throwing them away, because they don't want us to be able to talk about them, talk about what they're doing, or talk about what it is we like and we want. They can make any word they want under this new program, this Newspeak, bad. This is every bit as disgusting and perverted as Orwell's 1984 and The Brave New World, where they control us through social manipulation, medical manipulation, political manipulation, legal manipulation, every form of manipulation, positive and negative reinforcement. It is coming, and it's going to cause hell to come with it. Because I am free. I am a free man, and I will say whatever the fuck I want. And saying that it bullies someone because they're offended by it, that doesn't make it so. I have a right to say what I want. I can't scream fire in a crowded room, but I can say whatever I want, and if it's political or economic, legal or whatever, I have a right to discuss the issues that affect my life. And right now, everything out there is affecting my life, and I will discuss it. And I think you should too. It is time to stop being a coward. It is time to stop giving in. It is time for us to stop capitulating because we're nice. There is no limit. The left, the socialists, the communists, and the fascists, they know no limits, no restrictions, and you can never, ever satisfy them. That is why they were coming, and if they cannot win, they will do scorched earth and take the whole system down. They will. That is shit hitting the fan right there. There is no way out of it. We can have a shit hits the fan light, which is what Trump is trying to do, or we can have a shit hits the fan, Captain Caveman, Apocalypse, Mad Max fucking nightmare scenario, which I don't want. So you better have your food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Have your plan. Figure out where to get some of this CBD oil, right? It's supposed to have a lot of amazing effects, anti-cancer properties, other medicinal effects, right? And they can't make any claims or any guarantees, and I'm impressed by it. So get some of that shit too. Godspeed to everybody. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Get prepared. Stay frosty. Bye-bye.